Hi, and welcome to another episode, short, of the Elegantly Raw Tidbits. So, today I am talking acidity. Yes. Why am I talking acidity? Because that's the root cause of every major mental, emotional, psychological, and physical illness. When we have a surplus of acidity versus alkalinity in our bodies, we are creating a war with ourselves. So, this is not just about food, although, yes, let's look at the food as well. So, for example, this is an acid reflux one, but I want you to look at the list on the left, and look at the list on the right. Do you notice the list on the right all comes from nature? It's straight from the earth. On the left, that's all denatured. So what does this tell us? Well, we're part of nature. We're an integral part of nature. That's just who we are. So it makes sense that nature does not harm us as long as we keep nature in the form in which it presents itself to us, meaning our bodies as well. This is part of nature. We come from nature, and to nature we shall return, at least the physical form anyway. So I think it just makes sense if we realize that we are part of nature, and that the acidic things that we put into our bodies are not part of nature, that there will be a problem. Now, what are the other ways in which we acidify ourselves? Our thoughts, the feelings, the emotional wringing that we do within ourselves. We get too emotionally caught up in ourselves and our role in life. We see ourselves as victims. That is extremely acidic. When we have been fraught with a tremendous amount of pain and wounds, it is easy to see ourselves as perpetual victims, but the truth is, if you've been through that and you have survived, you're no longer a victim. You're the victor. You have survived. You have survived what most people would dread from the depths of their very being and just think that they would never survive, and yet you did. So if you survived, then maybe it's time to stop seeing yourself as the victim and go to that deep place that exists within all of us, where we can rise up and take our powers back. And it's interesting, I really believe that when we're that wounded, we only make decisions from a wounded place, then we create more wounding. We eat things that create toxicity and acidity within us. We create things that stuff us and allow us to feel that we're numbing. But life cannot never be numbed. The only way to actually thrive is to accept all the pain, all of the wounds as simply part of the journey, and leave them where they belong in our past, and move ourselves in the present moment and rejoice and celebrate ourselves for having gotten past all of that and gotten to where we are today, and start eating from a celebratory mindset. So, for example, if you're going to celebrate in nature, you might eat a fruit, the most magnificent fruit that you can find. I just juiced some cantaloupes and had a cantaloupe juice. Oh my gosh! First of all, the aroma, the ambrosia, the scent, all of my senses lit up. My sense of hearing, my sense of smell, my sense of taste, my sense of feeling, the sight, all my senses were involved. I was able to really enjoy that from a place of pure ecstasy. And so can you. We don't have to take substandard things and put into our mouths anymore. We can choose the list on the right rather than the list on the left. We can choose language, wording that uplifts us, that brings us to an elevated part of ourselves, and begin to help us restore our lives to an evolutionary form, rather than stay stuck in the past. So I did this training with Burke Hellinger, which is really intergenerational trauma, and I wanted to be I was going to be one of the practitioners of it. But I was so affected by the training because the training was all in person, and it was experiential, so we had to go through other people's trauma, listen to it, help take part in it, and we all took on roles of what happened to the person in that place. And I was so emotionally strung out by it that I did not finish the certification. I was just too strung out. I was not emotionally ready for it because I had not finished dealing with my own emotional wounds. Once I finished dealing with my emotional wounds, once I focused on healing as my birthright, healing as pleasure, for me, healing is now one of the most pleasurable things in which I can partake in my life. And I do this on all realms and all levels. So I invite you to tune in each day as we go through all the different ways in which we can embrace healing, all of the different assistance we can get. And I would love to hear your own answers, your own therapies, your own healing. I'd love to hear about what you do in your own life to ensure that you rise above it all and you come out on top in the way that you were meant to. Or if you're just rising up now, what are you doing? We have to change our thoughts, change our emotions. We're too caught up in our emotions. Just know that our emotions are not who we are. We have these mindsets that keep us wrapped into certain behavior patterns. We need to just let go of them, surrender to the truth of who we are, magnificent, healed and healing beings that came here with a birthright to love and be loved. The only person that is missing in your life to create this is you. Yes. So join me, won't you? Every weekday at this time, let's do this together. You're not alone. You never have been. You cannot go anywhere on earth and be alone. Just look out the window. Take a walk on the street. There are birds there. There are trees. They are begging for you to notice them. Just like you're begging for another human being to notice you. Just start taking part in your life on every level, with all your feelings intact. Use your eyes, your ears, use all your senses, and get to know the magnificence of your own being. Welcome to my land of healing. Until next time, be well, be mindful, and play with